Guys, what's up? It's Justin Marc, and in this video, we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna talk about a huge problem in society, which is something we could call social conditioning. Now, social conditioning is a good thing, but it can also be a horrible thing. It can also be used to brainwash the masses. It can be used to manipulate things for a political agenda. It can be used to manipulate you into living a very low quality life. And so in this video, we're gonna talk about a few things that you can do today and tomorrow and this week and this month to start breaking free and unplugging yourself from societal norms, social conditioning, expectations of you, so you can actually live a way better and a way happier life, and a life you're actually happy living. And you can wake up happy every day. And you can actually go for what you want in life because now you're unplugged from social conditioning. You're unattached of society's expectations of you. You are now living for you and not to be a bee in the beehive. You're living as a free spirit, a free person. And so sit back, enjoy this video. We're gonna dig deep. We're gonna talk about methods and strategies to unplug yourself from social conditioning. And we're gonna also talk about what happens if you don't unplug yourself from social conditioning. Because you really have two options here. Unplug yourself and live an amazing life beyond your dreams. Or live a very average, mediocre, safe life, right? Maybe the government will take care of you, right? Of course the government always takes care of you. Of course, they're never gonna do anything bad. Of course, right? They'll protect you, right? Your work, you're never gonna get fired from your job as long as you work that 9-to-5 job and do your best and give them all for 50 years. What? They're never gonna fire you. That doesn't happen. You don't just get laid off from your job. That doesn't happen, right? So we're gonna talk about how you can actually mitigate these issues and ensure that you can actually live a very much more secure life, stable life, and a higher quality one as well. All right, guys, so what is social conditioning? Social conditioning is a mix of things. It is society, the government, the media, the school system, your parents, religious institutions, planting seeds, programming your brain in a certain way in accordance to what they wanted you to believe, in accordance to their agenda. So me personally, I grew up in the suburbs of Toronto. I grew up in a very Catholic religious family. I went to Catholic school, and at some point, I had to realize that a lot of the things that were put in my head weren't true. Here's a good example of this. 3rd grade, I remember being 8 years old, learning about the food pyramid. And they say grains is the most important part of every meal and you need to eat lots of grains. But if you actually look at nutrition, or if you read The Ultramind Solution by Dr. Marc, or if you look at modern day nutrition guides, eating processed grains is horrible for you. It is the last thing you want in your diet. It should be the smallest part of your diet if you even have it as part of your diet at all, right? And so it's crazy how the grain industry, the farming industry, agriculture was able to lobby to put their political agenda or their business agenda or whatever it is into children's textbooks. So from the time little Justin was 8 years old, he now thinks that I need to eat a slice of toast with every meal or whatever the fuck it is, right? And so where is this happening to you in other areas of your life? Maybe it's happening in your dating life. Maybe you're watching movies about these romantic dates and you think, oh, that's how I talk to girls. This is how I communicate in male-female dynamics. I have to go to the bar and buy the girl a drink and be like, hey, can you please, give the bartender some money? Can you please send a drink to the lady over there, right? And then I go to nightclubs and bars and I see guys actually talking to girls like this and it doesn't fucking work. Or maybe movies and television told you that people who are wealthy and successful, they cheated the system and they're bad people and they were manipulative and all these fucking crazy things. All of these things are other forms of social conditioning. And this happens in your religious organizations, the media, in your family dynamics. And it's happening all over the place and you're not even fucking realizing it, okay? It's happening in modern society, right? With the elections, Donald Trump 2020, right? It's happening with fucking the political spectrum. It's happening with modern masculinity and femininity because now I'm not a male, I am a non-binary, gender fluid, pansexual Pokemon master, right? It's happening all over the fucking place, right? And people, especially young people, are being incredibly influenced and manipulated for other people's agendas. And it's horrible to see because what happens is when you lose the ability to see the world through your own eyes, and when you lose the ability to see reality for what it is and not how you want it to be, right? Not Disney, but seeing things for how it is, right? When you're able to do that, you wake up to a new life. Your life is now in your control. You can literally choose your day-to-day actions and habits, right? And then make an amazing life for yourself. Here's a great example of this. I went to college, got a bachelor's degree. I've never used that degree in my life. So while I was in college, I recognized this as a waste of time. I was studying self-help and self-development at the time, and I was thinking, there's no point in going to class. Instead, I'm gonna ditch class, go clubbing like 3 to 4 times a week, right? Go party, go make friends, film content, and literally within a few months of graduating with my bachelor's degree, my business was at a 6-figure income. And then a lot of the friends I went to college with to do my bachelor's degree with, they, even now, years later, are struggling, right? And why does this happen? Why do we invest so much into other people's agendas? And it's all coming back to this root cause, social conditioning, okay? So you gotta look in your life and look at your actions, your life, your decisions, your career, your business, your relationships, right? Maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're not. Maybe you think a relationship is the most idealistic future because the Disney Channel, right? Hollywood, maybe your family dynamic, it programmed in your subconscious brain that having a relationship will make you happy. Having a girlfriend is gonna make you so happy. Everything's gonna be happy, right? And then every time I end up in a relationship and I'm just like, holy fuck, I miss it. I miss my free time. I miss being single, right? And it's like, I thought I was supposed to be happy, right? And I'll date these amazing women, incredible women. Even to this day, I think about some of my ex-girlfriends every single day, right? They changed my life to help shape my personality, right? But I'll think about these people and I'd think back the times we spent together. It was good times, but I wasn't happy. I'm a lot happier being on my own, right? But Hollywood, media, whatever the fuck it is, like religious institutions, right? Like growing up in the Catholic Church, you see marriage as like that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to achieve, right? And so you gotta look at your life and your thoughts and your beliefs and your values, okay? And you need to actually figure out what is going to benefit you and cause you to have a happy life, okay? And you need to wake up to seeing things for how they are, not how you want it to be, okay? A really good example of this is I noticed with male-female dynamics, with dating, it's completely the fucking opposite of what society told me it would be. It's like, holy shit, I've had hundreds upon hundreds of intimate partners and intimate dating experiences and thousands of dates and thousands of women I've met over the years, right? And because I worked in the nightlife industry, there's always like a revolving door of new people coming in out of my life in terms of like my dating life, right? And it is completely, it's not even like the opposite of what society tells you it is, but it's like just completely fucking different. It's just like a different species of experiences, right? And so when you actually can realize this, when you can unplug yourself, like remove yourself from this like matrix-like thinking, from, you know, almost being like a robot, a product of society, and start being a free thinking person, being someone who has their own thoughts, their own ideas, who's conscious, who's not acting from their subconscious, but who is conscious, who's aware. What'll happen is you're gonna notice your entire life changes. You're gonna audit the people around you, your friends, your own friends. You're gonna say, a lot of these people don't add any value to my life. In fact, a lot of these people take value from my life. You're gonna start cutting people out of your life, right? You're gonna notice your job, your career, it might not be something you're happy doing, right? I realized from the time I was 18 years old that I'd rather be broke and happy than having some soul-sucking job. When I was 18 years old, I was working for the Ministry of Transportation of Ontario. Nice, comfy government job as a summer intern. After 2 weeks of this well-paying, comfy, safe, secure job, I quit. And I quit so I can go walk the streets with my buddy Nicholas and go hit on girls all summer, right? And I was happier doing that, being broke, living on $3 a day, because I was living from a place of alignment with who I was and what I wanted. I wasn't any longer living someone else's plan. And the reason I had even gotten that job was because my mother kept telling me, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, right? And so you need to actually do what's right for you and not what other people tell you. You need to start doing what's right for your life and not living for other people's expectations of you. Okay, so later in this video, we're gonna dig deep on how you can actually do that. We're gonna talk about what happens if you don't do that. What happens if you don't do that is you end up in a 30, 40-year relationship, right? Or even like shorter, longer, whatever the fuck it is, but you're not gonna be happy. That's why you see the divorce rate is 70% in society, because people feel pressured to get married, right? And then they're like, wait, I'm not fucking happy. Oftentimes people get these like almost arranged marriages where it's like your mother and her friend, you know, they both like kind of like conspire to introduce you to her, you know, child, her friend's child, and then you guys end up, you know, something happens. You're like, well, I guess I have no other dating options because I've done what society asked me to do. I've gone to school, got a job, did like step by step by step by step, and like time to get married and procreate. And then you have like a bunch of kids with some person you're not even that passionate with. You're not even happy in that relationship. Right? And you don't even realize it. You're thinking, I guess I'm happy because this is what my parents wanted for me. This is what society told me would make me happy. Next thing you know, you're at the end of your fucking life and you haven't even fucking lived. You haven't even lived at all whatsoever, okay? So you need to actually figure out what will make you happy. Oftentimes, I see people working these horrible fucking jobs that they fucking hate, right? In order to make money to fund a lifestyle they don't even like, right? It's like they'll buy an apartment or rent an apartment in like some shitty area near the workplace, but then they're working to pay off the rent to live in that shitty area that they don't like. And they don't have a social life, they don't have like friends, maybe they don't have like a good dating life, they're not living. They would be better off to drop what they're doing, move to Australia, get a job at a fucking coffee shop or a McDonald's in Australia, right? But then in your free time, you go to like the beach and go travel and shit, or go backpack across fucking Europe, or go to Iceland, or go to like South America, like save a bit of money and go travel, right? That would be a lot more fulfilling. You'll learn so much more about yourself and who you are and what you want in life, right? I promise you would. And a lot of people are so scared. The thought of dropping everything and going to travel to the other side of the world is so fucking terrifying. I've done it so many times. In fact, anytime I'm really stressed out, my first instinct is to pack up all my stuff to a bag, fly out. I remember I broke up with my ex-girlfriend, Laura. Literally, she left my apartment, packed up my stuff in a bag, booked a flight to Cancun, right? I've done it so many times. Like, I'm just like, oh, fuck this, I don't like this, pack my shit in a bag, fly out. So that's one thing you can actually do to like unplug and go, right? So there's so many different ways you can actually start unplugging yourself. We're gonna talk about that in a moment. But again, what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't start unplugging yourself? You are going to start being miserable. And then what happens? You become resentful. You start trying to convince other people to follow the shitty plan that you followed. Trying to tell other people, listen to the government, trust the churches, trust the news and television, the media. Do not consume that shit, man. Do not put that in your fucking head. Do not read the news. Do not fucking pay attention to stuff. Even with modern day social media, like using Reddit, using Facebook, using all these like platforms, YouTube, they all have a political agenda these days. You gotta be very conscious and aware with what you're consuming, because you become the average of what you consume. You are literally a byproduct of what you're surrounded with. And so when you consume other people's political agendas and you don't see things for how it fucking is, opening your eyes and seeing things for how it truly is, so you can make your own conscious decision, you're going to suffer. It's going to cause you a lot of suffering, maybe mental suffering, maybe financial suffering, right? Here's a good example of this. You might work for a company for years. My father worked for a huge bank in Canada for about 20 years, right? Then he started suffering with depression and he was underperforming for about a year and they laid him off just like that. 20 years of his life dedicated to a company just to be laid off just like that. One thing that was amazing was he built so many amazing fucking skills and he was pretty aware and unplugged from social conditioning, which is awesome. And so he was able to land an even better fucking job. Great, awesome. But I see it so often that people will give their lives to a company, an organization, some sort of institution, right? And that organization or institution is actually manipulating them and milking them and really not offering them the true value back in return, right? Their only agenda with you is to extract value from you and then keep you there in place. As a nice little, like, good boy, stay in place, good job, do your job. We're gonna be over here doing our thing, right? And so if you actually look at a lot of the most successful people in the world, people who created big companies, let's look at the Silicon Valley, okay? A lot of those people were incredibly fucking unplugged and innovative. Did you know Steve Jobs, he attributed him starting Apple, like iPhones, MacBooks, etc., right? Apple, the big company, Apple, right? The multi-trillion-dollar company, to him doing LSD, lysergic acidic diethylene. I think that's it, right? LSD, acid, okay? He did acid so many fucking times that it opened his brain, right, to new ways of thinking, and then he had innovative ideas, right? In the Silicon Valley, a lot of executives actually microdose LSD to allow themselves to think outside the box. Pretty much allows you to unplug from that kind of societal thinking. So it is almost like a performance enhancing drug that they can use for their career. Really interesting how that works. So if you actually want to solely unplug yourself from social conditioning, there's so many different ways to do it. And if you don't do it, you're gonna live a life of suffering. You're gonna live a very fucking shitty life. You're probably gonna end up with an average dating partner, right? You're not happy with, right? Your income's probably gonna be pretty average. You're never gonna really achieve anything amazing. Maybe you'll go on like 1-2 vacations a year, and you're not gonna be truly living. Even you're not gonna be present in those experiences. You're not gonna really be there. It's almost like you become a zombie. If you actually look around in society, like walk down the fucking street and look at people, and a lot of people you can like see in their eyes or their face, it's like they're not there. Oftentimes when I'm like on Tinder, like swiping on girls, I can like see like almost like they don't have a soul. It's fucking weird. It's almost like they're like possessed by like some kind of like demonic spirit or some shit. Freaky fucking stuff, okay? Freaky as fuck. So you wanna make sure you don't become that by being self-aware. You need to see things through your own eyes, not what people told you. You don't want to have opinions and perspective based on what someone told you. Like your friend, you trust your friend and your friend told you that this is how reality is and now you believe him. See it through your own fucking experiences. Go out and actually test things and go actually experience things and go actually, try things. So for a great example of this, I run a business about men's dating, teaching guys how to effectively communicate with people. And it's funny because whenever I meet girls and they'd be like, oh, you're a dating coach, but like, isn't it like this? I'm like, okay, go fucking try it. Go try that yourself. Go try your advice you fucking told me. I know it works for me because I've tried it thousands and thousands and thousands of times in 50 different countries in 6 continents, right? So you go try it and let me know how you do it, right? The only advice I'll take from people is people who are absolute experts. I have a rule of thumb is I won't ever take advice from someone unless I'm willing to trade places with them. So unless I'm willing to trade places with someone, I will not take advice from that person. So my business advice, usually I get my business advice from people who are really successful in business, right? People online, content creators who make content about business who are like millionaires and shit, or a lot of my own friends who are very successful in business. I have tons of friends who are like multimillionaires. I can ask them for business advice, right? Dating advice. The only dating advice I can actually receive and actually take is from my peers or people at a higher level than me with dating. So I have a few friends and mentors, even with dating and social skills, who I can actually reach out to or my close inner circle, and then I can get dating advice from them. Make sense? Pretty logical. I wouldn't get dating advice from a random dude on the fucking street, right? Maybe I'll get it from my dad, right? Because, you know, a lot of your upbringing is based around your family values and things like that, right? But for the most part, I'll usually just get high quality dating advice from dating experts, right? This is why a lot of people come to me. So fitness advice, would you go to a skinny motherfucker, some dude who isn't like at all fit, for fitness advice? Of course you would, right? The average personal trainer tends to be pretty fucking fit, well put together, have lots of experience, and be passionate about it, right? So in the same way, you should not trust society, the government, the church, whatever the fuck it is, for any type of fucking advice, unless they're absolutely practicing what they preach to the T, right? It's like, why the fuck would you trust the government when, like, I've got a bunch of money in a US bank account, and I was looking at the exchange rate today, because I wasn't filming this video, it's early December, and I'm like, $1 to Canadian early this year was 1.45, and now it's 1.27. So I've lost like about 10 grand or some shit, right? Because I trusted the US Federal Reserve to not inflate the US dollar. Oops, should have just put my money in Bitcoin. I fucked up, my bad, right? And so you want to actually come up with strategies and an action plan to start unplugging yourself from trusting society so you can actually start living for you. So here's a few strategies you can actually use and implement today to start having a higher quality experience, unplugging yourself from the matrix. Look around society, the buildings, like there's buildings in the background, there's fucking skyscrapers. Think about this. This started in someone's head. These ideas for architecture, for design, for urban planning started in someone's head and then it was created. So if you want to actually unplug yourself from this social construct of society, there's so many different ways you can do this. Now, a lot of people will take LSD. I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying you gotta take LSD, but you could if you want to. I'm just saying you don't have to take LSD and trip on acid in order to unplug from societal conditioning. But what you could do is you could start waking up to what reality is by mixing things up. So the first thing I could say is start fucking shaking things up day to day. You know what I used to do to get over my social anxiety? I used to fucking go out in public and I used to scream at the top of my lungs, be like, hey! Look around, people stare at me, it's fucking weird, awkward, I feel a bit of pressure, feel a bit of like that external social anxiety pressure. But what would happen was I would come out of it and be like, oh, I thought if I scream in public, someone's gonna try to fight me. Some guys would tell me shut the fuck up. Someone like, something weird's gonna happen. Nothing happened. Oh my God, this is so crazy. I always was told that if I were to walk up to a girl in a bar and tell her that I find her elegant and attractive, she'll slap me and throw a drink in my face. So if I just screamed in public and no one tried to fight me, maybe I can tell the girl I have a crush on that I find her, maybe I could tell her that I find her attractive, right? And so I was able to massively improve my dating situation, my dating life, coming from a place of horrible fucking social anxiety because of the belief society put on me, right? And so I started doing this in all areas of my life. Started doing this with business. Instead of thinking that I need to work really hard in school like my older sister did to land a good job that pays well, I was like, fuck this, let's just be an entrepreneur, start different businesses and dick around, right? And now it's at a point where like, I don't really need to try. I'm pretty like financially well off. I don't really need to do anything. I kind of just hang out Tinder like all day, every day. And then like money just shows up in my bank account, right? And I do client stuff. I put out value to people and I do really impact people, but it's fucking awesome because I was able to rewire my beliefs by seeing things through my own eyes and then mixing things up, shaking things up. Another great example of this is traveling, okay? When you travel, when you go backpacking, when you're like broke and then you learn how to make it fucking work in different environments, in different fucking places, in foreign countries, well, now you become a problem solver. Mommy and daddy aren't gonna take care of you, you gotta take care of yourself, right? You gotta feed yourself, you gotta overcome problems. I remember being in Australia, I lost my backpack. That backpack had all my sentimentals, my laptop, my passport, my wallet, everything. And I was like, holy fucking shit. And I had to like fight to survive. Now imagine what that does for my skill set as a man, as a human being. I became fucking resilient and resourceful. And now I have these skills and ability to take care of myself in any situation that would present itself. And I came so far from being this like shy, reserved individual, right? That was protected by society, right? Because the government's gonna protect you, right? Wrong. So you gotta be very cautious and very fucking careful of your day-to-day actions. And if you find yourself monotonous, in routine, doing the same fucking shit every day, but not in a grounded way, but in a way that's like not really helping you grow, you need to shake things the fuck up. Quit your fucking job. Go travel to Nicaragua. Start a fucking new business. Seriously, go fucking sell your house and move across the fucking country. Seriously, that's the type of shit you should be fucking doing. I had a student who wanted to work with me early this year, and he didn't have the money for my coaching program. So he sold his fucking car because he knew that selling his car, using the money to fund his tuition for training with me would change his life a lot more than him driving to fucking work when he worked at, I think he worked at like fucking 7-Eleven or some shit, right? It's like, you gotta shake things up and do something different. Invest in yourself, invest in your future, invest in your learning so you can wake up to what reality fucking is, okay? And there's a million different ways to do that. So we talked about it, right? See things for what it is, not how you like it to be. Seeing reality through your own fucking eyes, right? Instead of what other people told you it is, right? And then also shaking things up, doing something different so you can get out of your comfort zone. That's a big one. Getting out of your comfort zone, just jumping in the deep end, figuring how to figure things out, right? And what's gonna happen is all of these little patterns of behavior are gonna build you to become this very resilient individual. Now you're gonna notice in your dating life, you're more confident. In your career, you're more driven and more focused. Maybe you're acting from a place of purpose. Maybe you're actually now doing something you're passionate about, right? Maybe you quit your finance job and you're taking up your photography hobby, right? And gonna turn into a business, right? Maybe, like what I did is I had a nice comfy government job. I would probably be like an accountant or something, or like a financial manager or some fucking shit, right? But instead, I quit my fucking careers. I got my bachelor's degree, yes. But what I did is I became a dating coach. I went out to go like pick up girls and talk to girls and shit, right? And turned that into a fucking business and a career, right? And so you wanna fucking do something that you're passionate about. So follow your actual fucking passions and your actual fucking dreams and put that fucking first. Whatever the fuck it is. Like maybe it's music, right? Maybe it's socializing. Maybe it's travel. Don't worry about money. Just go fucking do it and figure it out along the way. When I was traveling, when I first started traveling, I didn't really have a lot of fucking money. A lot of people comment on videos, Justin, how do you travel so much? On my Instagram, I always get like, how do you afford to travel? Dude, I didn't fucking afford to travel. I would literally pay it on my credit card. I didn't have the fucking money for it. I'd go to these places to like, it's almost like I was just following this voice inside my head or like my gut. I would just show up in random fucking countries, swear to God. I would show up, not even knowing how I'm gonna pay off the fucking trip, and I would just fucking figure it the fuck out. I would just figure it out, seriously. And in doing so, that taught me so many business skills. I learned sales, entrepreneurship, online marketing, customer relationship management. I learned all these fucking things that I was supposed to learn in college, right? I learned these same things in college, but I like read it out of a textbook and then like filled in multiple choice questions and answers. And they're like, here, you have a bachelor's degree, right? And I'm like, oh, that was fucking easy, right? But in actually doing it in person, in foreign countries where I don't fucking speak the language or understand the culture, I actually built these amazing business skills. So when people are like, where do you get the money? And I'm like, I didn't. I just fucking figured it out. My credit card was maxed out and then I'm like, fuck, I should do something about this. And I figured it out. And now anytime I want money, I have the skills and the abilities to create money from nothing by providing value to others simply because I've done it in the past. So now I've got a track record and a skill set of doing so, right? Or another great example. I was seeing a girl, Courtney, great girl. Her name was Corn to me. Like she would call me J-Dog and she was Corn. We were like best friends, we were seeing each other. And I decided to end it with her and move across the fucking world. Why the fuck would anyone end it with a beautiful woman they're seeing just to go travel across the fucking world by themselves? Now, I didn't just do that with that girl. I did that with many different women I dated, okay? Why did I fucking do that? Again, it's just unplugging from what society wants me to do and doing what I want to fucking do, right? Not what she wants me to do, or not what my mom wants me to do, not what my friends want me to do, doing what I want to fucking do. Doing what you want to fucking do. Go do what you want to fucking do and go fucking do it, okay? And now imagine this, and then I move across the world, I'm in a foreign country, I'm like, shit, I need to go talk to girls. I don't have a girl to date anymore. I don't have a beautiful woman to fornicate with and cuddle every night anymore, right? Shit, how do we handle this? Okay, now I've got to go to bars, clubs, daytime venues to socialize and practice social skills and communication skills. Or, hey, I'm in a foreign country. I don't have any friends to talk to. I remember I randomly went to New York. I got in a fight with one of my roommates years ago because he was being a dickhead. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm going to fucking New York. I just booked a ram trip to New York, left that night, jumped on a fucking bus, went to fucking New York, okay? Spent a week in New York by myself, went to a hostel, made friends with a bunch of fucking strangers. I put myself in these positions where I have no other fucking choice and I just fucking do it. Built the social skills by just fucking doing it. Just throwing myself in the deep end and learning how to swim, okay? Just fucking do it. A lot of people are sitting at home, taking notes. Just shut the fuck up and go fucking do it, right? Just get out there and go fucking get it, right? Whatever goal you have, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to fucking do, whatever experience you want to have, go do it and go experience it. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to have this idealistic idea of the future of like, when I go do this thing, because here's the thing, when you actually like build it up to go do this thing and you start living the dream, you're gonna realize, I could have done this my whole life. I could have been traveling my whole life. I spent years of my life doing something I wasn't happy doing, and now I'm doing it, and I'm like, I could have done this the whole time. A lot of times it's a mental success barrier that blocks you from actually living the life you want to live, but you're living it because of what fucking people told you to do. It pisses me the fuck off when I see people doing this shit. It literally makes me want to like punch a wall. It makes me want to like, your mother tells you to go to university to get a bachelor's degree in political science so that you can now identify as a non-binary, gender fluid dinosaur, or whatever the fuck, right? And now you owe $80,000 to university or in student loans, and now you gotta go work at fucking Starbucks for $18 an hour for like the next 8 years to pay your fucking rent. And the only reason you didn't pay your rent is because it's close to the Starbucks. And on top of all that, you're only saving up that money to pay off your fucking student loans, to pay off that bullshit credential you got in political science, right? That's a lot of people's fucking lives. Now, maybe that's not your life, but you're probably doing this somewhere in some way. Maybe it's not financially. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's in your career. Maybe it is in your nutrition, right? It could be like in your diet. It could be like fucking McDonald's, right? Programming. I remember growing up, I used to watch so much fucking television, right? I used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants, and then I went on this meditation retreat called Vipassana, okay? Amazing, life-changing meditation retreat. And I realized that when all the external is gone, what was in my noise was like weird noises. It was like SpongeBob being like, doi, oi, 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 or like weird like honking noise, like wee, wee, wee. Like that was like my subconscious brain. That was what was programmed into my subconscious brain, so that when I was left with nothing, that's what would come up. It was insane. And I was like, oh my God, I have some work to do, right? What's even crazier is I really like colors. And I really like anytime I'm like walking past like a convenience store or like a 7-Eleven or some shit, and I see like colors, or like, I'm like, whoa, and I know it's like, almost like I could feel like the dopamine light up. Why did that happen? It was because of children's advertising. It's because I was brainwashed sitting in front of a fucking television when I was 8 years old, watching like Jimmy Neutron or some shit on the commercial breaks. It's like Skittles, Smarties, all these like kids' toys and shit, all these like colors and stuff, right? And so like whenever I'm in like the grocery store, I remember I went grocery shopping with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I was just like putting like junk food in the grocery cart. But it wasn't my conscious decision, it was my programmed subconscious brain. There's this saying that your subconscious is actually 90% of your decision making, right? And probably like the other 5% is like your biology, and like probably like 3% is like social conditioning, and probably like 2% is actually conscious like action taking or conscious decisions, which is so fucked up when you think about that, right? So you want to make sure that you can, over a long period of time, over the next week, over the next month, over the next year, start unwiring this shit, okay? Maybe it's psychedelic drugs, maybe you gotta go take ayahuasca in the Peruvian fucking forest to deal with this shit, right? That's what modern society has come to, right? Or maybe you need to take psilocybin mushrooms, or you don't need to fucking get high on drugs. You can literally just go fucking travel. You can literally just go unplug yourself from social media and television. You can literally just go change up your friendship circle, right? Change the friends around you. You become the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. The average of your friends is you. You are the average of your fucking friends. The people you spend the most time with, whether it's friends or family, that's what you become, right? Here's a good example of this. I moved out of my parents' house in my very early 20s, right? And even when I was living with them, I would never be there. I would come home at 6 a.m. after a night of clubbing, and I wouldn't drink. I wasn't out drinking, getting fucked up. I was out socializing, networking, making friends with high-level fucking people, right? And so the reason I did that was so I could build myself long-term. And the reason I spent so much time away from my family is so I can get away from their social conditioning. So you want to be really fucking careful and conscious with what you allow into yourself, because energy spreads, ideas, thoughts spreads like fucking wildfire. And you got to be so fucking careful with what influences you allow in your fucking head, because your brain is literally like a fucking computer. But instead of programming it with code, you program it with habits and ideas and thoughts. So even someone sings something and you just hear it, right? You hear this little idea, now it's in your subconscious, right? Great example of this. Early this year, I'm in Australia. My friend Jesse tells me to buy Bitcoin, right? Then later in the year, I'm in Mexico. My buddy David Bond says to me, buy Bitcoin. Next thing you know, I got a bunch of money in Bitcoin, right? Where did that happen? It happened in the seed. And I was catching up with Jesse the other day on the phone, catching up, chatting with him. Jesse said to me that he literally was just trying to plant a seed in my head to get me into the crypto space, right? And so you gotta be very fucking careful with what type of influences you bring around, because you bring around negativity, people who talk shit, people who have drama, people who do drugs or bad influences, people who are doing bad things. Where are you gonna be a few years from now? Hanging around those people. So I'm actually on 3 hours of sleep right now. I had a beautiful girl over last night. We had a little party, had a cute Tinder girl over. This girl was a bombshell, really enjoyed her company. But problem, she fell asleep at like 2 a.m. I'm kind of fucked up. I kind of just work until like 6 or 7 a.m. every night, and then like I sleep until like fucking 2, and then I wake up again, right? Now, I couldn't sleep, and so I was on Tinder, and I matched one of my ex-girlfriend's friends, okay? I was on Tinder, I matched Crystal. I actually went to college with Crystal. I cold approached her, and then I realized she was friends with an ex-girlfriend of mine. Now, it's funny because I was talking to Crystal, and I'm like, hey, how's my ex-girlfriend from 5 years ago doing? And she said that this girl is doing fucking horrible. Apparently she does a lot of drugs, she drinks a lot, she's a leech. Now, I don't want to talk shit. I'm not here to talk shit. But it was like, this makes so much sense. Because I remember when I ended it with her, right, about 5 years ago, the reason I ended it with her was because I looked at her habits. And there's this saying, you don't determine your future, but you determine your habits, and your habits determine your future, right? And I looked at her habits. She liked to drink. She liked to smoke. The one time I ever did cocaine, I did cocaine one time in my life, was because I was drunk, and she pressured me into it, right? She's like, let's do cocaine. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try it. And I was so fucking pissed that I did it. I had instant regret. I remember calling my best friend Nicholas, be like, oh my God, I did cocaine, like fuck, oh my God, right? Horrible, right? So because of that experience, I don't drink, I don't do any fucking, like, I'm very careful, right? Because I don't want to become a fucking crackhead, right? And it's almost like if you spend time with those types of people, you're just this fucking close from becoming a fucking crackhead. How fucked up is that? How fucking insane is that, right? And so you gotta be very cautious and careful with what type of energy you allow into yourself. Your dating partner, your girlfriend, her habits will affect your life. I remember I had this beautiful girlfriend, but so this girlfriend was amazing. Amazing. Even to this day, I think so fucking highly of her, okay? Her name is Laura, amazing fucking girl. And she gave me so much value, but I had to break up with her for one fucking reason. Because she would get mad at me for like not washing my dishes after we eat, even though I was spending tens of thousands of dollars to take us traveling around the world, the best parties, the best clubs, hanging out with influencers, going to all these crazy experiences, having crazy threesomes with her, having all these amazing experiences. It was so much fucking fun. It was a great relationship, right? But she would get mad at me for these little fucking things that were so insignificant and so small and so stupid, and it would just completely fuck up my vibe. And next thing I know, I'm going to like a business deal with a shit fucking vibe and energy. And all of a sudden I lose a sale and I lose like a fucking, like, I remember there was a day I was like, I lost $5,000 because I felt like shit because my girlfriend yelled at me. Bye. I fucking broke up with her immediately. Gone, right? So you gotta be very careful and very protective with what you let around yourself. Your beliefs, the people around you, what people tell you reality is. You need to fucking figure out what reality is from first-hand experience. I want you to say it with me. First-hand experience. This means actually experiencing it for yourself, not listening to someone else's experiences, not even my fucking experience. Like, you should be cautious even listening to me. How the fuck, like, stop for a sec, pause for a sec, think rationally for a sec. How do you know, you watching this video right now, you're not being manipulated or influenced in a negative way by me because I have some other fucking agenda? Maybe I have a political agenda. Maybe I have some sort of agenda where I want to fucking do whatever, I don't fucking know, right? I don't, right? But I'm honestly just making this video to wake people up and just, hey, here it is. This is how you wake up from social conditioning. But how do you know that's the fucking truth? How do you know that's what reality is? You need to actually go out and experience things for yourself first fucking hand. Not from what I told you, not from what your mom told you, not from what society told you, from your first-hand experience. Now, this doesn't mean you can't get advice or perspective from other people who have experience, right? But you want your decisions, your actions to 100% be based on your first-hand experiential wisdom. Say it with me, experiential wisdom. That means your wisdom that comes from experience. That's what you want it to be. That's what it should fucking be. And you want all your decisions to come from that core inside yourself of, I have all these experiences and references and reference experiences to back up my actions and my decisions in my day-to-day. And that's how you'll wake yourself up from social conditioning. So now when you hear something, you'll say, I don't agree. Now when you hear someone on the radio saying, this is how it is, you'll say, you know what? I beg to differ, right? And you'll actually be able to make decisions on your own. And that means when there is that cute girl in the bar, you'll go be able to fucking talk to her because you realize it doesn't fucking matter. Go do it. Or when there's this new business venture that presents itself, you'll go fucking jump into it because you'll say, you know what? Fuck it. I have a really good buddy named Lucas. Lucas is a fucking legend. He's a cool motherfucker, right? His dad, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, I'm not gonna say details about his family life, but his dad is like a very successful businessman in Russia. And it's crazy because Lucas came from this very well put together kingdom essentially, where his dad wanted him to take over the multi-million-dollar empire. And he's like, nah, fuck this. I'm just gonna pick up girls and fuck around. And he even had a 6-figure job he landed doing sales, and he quit that to start his own e-commerce store, right? So don't be scared to lose something good to get something great. You need to step out of your fucking comfort zone, right? Let go of something good to get something great. So oftentimes when I think about why I let go of amazing people from my life, friends, intimate partners, relationships, long-term relationships, right? Or maybe I quit a certain habit, right? I used to drink a lot, quit that, right? Well, why I do that is it's so I can let go of something good to get something great. It's so I can live that idealistic future, but I can start living it now from my own experiences day to day by changing up my environment, my habits, the people around me, and start living fucking fully. So guys, on that note, I would say wake the fuck up. Start unplugging yourself from this false sense of security you fucking have because it's not fucking real. You could die tomorrow. You can get hit by a fucking car tomorrow. You could literally have a brain aneurysm 10 minutes after watching this fucking video. So go start fucking living life to the fucking fullest right fucking now and go enjoy life for what it is. My name is Justin Marc, and I'm so happy to chat with you guys. If you guys ever have any questions, you can leave in the comments down below. I love talking to you guys. If you ever have any questions, you can actually message me on social media. Go to my new Instagram, right? DrunkJustin2, right? Go message me. go say hi, go follow me, go check out my stories, add me on all my social medias, linked in the description. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Click the bell notification so you're notified of new videos. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video for the YouTube algorithm. That means more people will see this, more people will be woken up to this, and we can live in a better society. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. It was great to chat with you guys. I'm gonna go eat breakfast and hang out with a cute girl from Tinder. So I hope you guys enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon.